What if I told you the universe isn't silent? That it's not just stars, planets, and empty space, but a giant cosmic symphony that's been playing since the beginning of time. Now, that might sound a little out there, but it's an idea that has absolutely captivated some of history's greatest minds. So get this. Over 400 years ago, one of the most brilliant astronomers who ever lived made this wild claim that the planets actually create music, a kind of celestial harmony. And he didn't just think it was a cool idea, he was convinced he had cracked the universe's code. So, the big question is, what did he actually hear? And this is our guy, Johannes Kepler. You've probably heard his name in science class. He's the one who figured out the laws of planetary motion. But to really get Kepler, you have to understand he was also part mystic. He was driven by this deep, passionate belief that the solar system wasn't just a bunch of rocks floating in space, but a divine musical instrument playing the harmony of the cosmos. So, to get to the bottom of this whole music thing, we first have to understand what drove him. For Kepler, astronomy wasn't just about charting stars and predicting eclipses. No, he was on a much deeper, almost spiritual mission to find God's hidden blueprint for the universe. You have to remember, Kepler was living through this crazy, revolutionary time. For centuries, everyone just assumed the Earth was the center of everything. That's the geocentric model. But then Copernicus came along with this radical new idea that the sun was actually at the center. And Kepler, he was all in on this new heliocentric worldview. But this idea didn't just pop into his head. He was chasing an ancient dream, an idea from thinkers like Pythagoras and Plato called the music of the spheres. They believed that music and astronomy were basically two sides of the same coin, sister sciences, both expressing the same perfect mathematical order of the universe. Kepler just wanted to be the one to finally prove it. And his first big swing at finding this hidden structure wasn't with music, believe it or not. It was with geometry. He was totally convinced that the universe was built like a perfect piece of architecture, following a divine plan. And for Kepler, the key was something called the Platonic solids. Now, these are the only 5 3D shapes in existence where every single face is an identical, perfect polygon. For Kepler, this wasn't just some geometric party trick. Their perfection, their uniqueness, this had to be a clue left behind by the creator, right? And this is where he had his huge eureka moment. Think about it. At the time, there were 6 known planets, which means there are 5 gaps between their orbits. And guess how many Platonic solids there are? Yep, exactly 5. It was too perfect. So he came up with this absolutely stunning model where these perfect shapes fit neatly in between the orbits, seemingly explaining why there were 6 planets and why they were spaced out the way they were. Okay, so the geometry was mind-blowing, but that was just the appetizer. For Kepler, the ultimate prize was to hear the harmony. So how in the world did he translate cold, hard physics into an actual musical score? Well, in 1619, he drops his masterpiece, a book called Harmonices Mundi, which means the harmony of the world. And this wasn't just another book. This was his grand unified theory of everything, weaving together astronomy, geometry, and music into one breathtaking vision of the cosmos. Okay, so here's how he did it. This is the absolute genius of it. From his own painstaking research, Kepler was the one who figured out that planets move in ellipses, not perfect circles. And what does that mean? It means their speed is always changing. They speed up as they get closer to the sun, and they slow down as they get farther away. So Kepler calculated the ratio between a planet's fastest speed and its slowest speed, and what he found was just incredible. Those ratios perfectly matched the ratios of musical intervals. You know, like an octave or a perfect fifth, the fundamental building blocks of harmony. And would you look at this? This is the payoff. This is not some artist's interpretation. This is Kepler's actual sheet music for the planets, right out of his book. He had, in his mind, literally written down the songs of the solar system, with physics as the composer. And it gets even better. He didn't just write the notes. He basically cast each planet as a singer in a giant cosmic choir. You had Mercury with its crazy fast orbit as the soprano, just zipping all over the scale. Venus, with its almost perfectly circular orbit, was the alto, holding pretty much one steady note. Earth was also an alto, but it sang this sad little 2-note song, mi, fa, mi. Kepler thought this represented misery and famine on our planet. Then you had Mars as the tenor, and the 2 giants, Jupiter and Saturn, providing that slow, deep, majestic bass line. But, okay, let's hit the pause button for a second. Can planets actually sing? What's the real takeaway from Kepler's incredible music? Yeah, of course not. We all know sound needs air or something to travel through, and space is a vacuum. It's silent. But here's the kicker. Kepler knew that too. He wasn't talking about something you could actually hear with your ears. He said it himself. The music of the heavens is an everlasting polyphony, but it's intelligible, not audible. This was never music for your ears. It was music for your intellect. The harmony, he discovered, was in the deep, elegant, mathematical beauty of the laws of nature, a kind of beauty you understand with your mind. And that's what's so beautiful about this whole story. Kepler's mystical, obsessive search for divine music wasn't some weird detour from his scientific work. It was the very thing that led him directly to his 3 world-changing laws of planetary motion. His quest for beauty and harmony revealed the fundamental physics that runs our solar system, laws that laid the groundwork for Isaac Newton and basically all of modern astronomy. So in the end, this beautiful, poetic idea gave us the hard science that governs the cosmos. He went looking for a song and found the laws of physics. It just makes you wonder, doesn't it? As we point our own advanced instruments to the stars, listening to radio signals and gravitational waves, what new kinds of cosmic music are we just beginning to hear today?